Uttarakurudweep, Uttarakurudweep Uttara and a large continent to the north of Mount Meru. It is one of the four continents, namely Uttakurudweep or Uttarakurudweep, Bupavidhādweep, Indian continent, and Amonkoyan Continent or Aparakoyan Continent. The Indian subcontinent is a large continent located to the south of Mount Meru. It is one of the four continents, namely Uttarakuru or Uttarakuru, Bubavidhādīva, the Indian subcontinent, and Amarakhoyānādīva or Aparakhoyānadīva. Continents. In the Traibhumi scriptures it is said that the earth has four continents, 1 the Indian continent, 2 the Amarakhoyana continent or the Aparakoyana continent, 3 the Uttarakuru continent or the Uttarakuru continent, 4 the Bubavideha continent. Bupavidhādīva and a large continent to the east of Mount Meru. It is one of the four continents, namely Uttakurudīva or Uttakurudīva, Bubavidhādīva, Indian continent, and Amarakhoyānādīva or Aparakhoyānadīva. Amarakhoyan Continent, Aparakhoyan Continent, and a large continent lying to the west of Mount Meru. It is one of the four continents, namely Uttakururu Continent or Uttarakuru Continent, Bupavidhādīva, Indian Continent, and Amarakhoyan Continent or Aparakhoyan Continent. Uttarakurudweep, Buddhist Ecological Ideal Society. Read Year 3, Issue 2, January-March 2011 Thanya Sankapanthanan. Lahahanthi There are large and small rivers in the Uttarakuru continent. All have water that is clear, pure, spotless, and free from Puklat has a cheerful pose that is pleasing to watch. Looks good to bathe in, looks good to eat. The sandy beach along the Sindhu stream on both sides of the stream is not too hot, not too cold, it is pleasant to the touch. It was filled with flowers and water, fragrant and fragrant. The water flows along all the rivers. Filled with the scent of flowers, the trees and thorns are covered with thorns. It is impossible to have it in Uttarakuru continent. Trifumlokabinakayakatha, page 513. Uttarakurudweep is a place mentioned in the Traibhumi Katha as one of the four continents in Buddhist cosmology. Consisting of the Indian subcontinent, the Amonkoyan Continent, and the Eastern Continent. And Uttarakuru subcontinent. Uttarakuru subcontinent is discussed as a special area that is an ideal area, which is a space that does not actually exist but it has a relationship with the real space in society. Many academics view Uttarakurudweep is said to be an ideal society, or a utopian society. Utopia. It is a word that was originally used to describe man's highest hopes and aspirations, which seems like a dream for a certain land. Utopia is a political philosophical concept that dates back to Plato. It describes the form of a new society free from defects and exploitation. It literally means a place that has never existed before. Nowhere land, a perfect society in another space, a perfect society in another space, a place full of valuable substances, where the sadness, pain and violence are prohibited. The author accepts the proposal that considers Uttarakuru subcontinent as an ideal space society. However, the author wants continuing the study issues regarding Uttarakurudweep in Traibhumi literature as well as some Buddhist scriptures such as the Lokabanya scriptures, which is a scripture about the world and universe according to Buddhist beliefs, to spread far and wide that Uttarakurudweep is not only an ideal space or utopia, but when considering the theoretical basis of ecocritic literary theory, ecocriticism, which focuses on ideas about nature and the environment in literature combined with the idea of an eco-ideal society, ecotopia, it can be said that the concept of Uttarakurudi in the Traibhumi literature has a very interesting ecological ideal society or ecotopia. The aliens that the Lord Buddha said were on the planet Uttarakuru continent. I bow down to the Bodhisattva, who is the Lord of all humans and angels. The Buddha spoke about aliens more than 2,600 years ago, long before scientists This brief message is about the lifestyle, appearance, complexion, society, and geography of the Uttarakuru continent. Topography. Normally our planet, the Indian subcontinent, has the same topography as we know, with oceans, seas, mountain ranges, and various land masses. The Uttarakuru subcontinent is like ours in every way. It's just more refined, more detailed, softer, cleaner. Climate. It has seasons just like ours. Only more subtle, more comfortable, no storms, not too cold, not too hot. Life expectancy. People of the Indian subcontinent have an uncertain lifespan. Usually it's around 75 years before they die. Some people die young. Some people die after 100 years. It's called life expectancy. Uncertain, cannot estimate, but the people of Uttarakuru subcontinent, there is a certain lifespan of 1000 years, no more than 1000 years. There is no such thing as dying young or dying too old. Therefore, there is no sorrow from the death of a person on this planet. When someone dies, there will be a bird named Hasadink with large wings. Has the head of an elephant flying from Kautrikut at the foot of Frasinaru mountain, carrying the corpse, assuming it was a piece of meat, leave it at the foot of Frasinaru mountain. People on this planet, therefore, there is no funeral ceremony like the people of the Indian subcontinent. Shape. The normal height of people in this world is approximately 4 to 6 cubits approximately, not exceeding. But the people of Uttarakuru subcontinent will be 13 cubits and 4 centimeters tall, much higher than the people of our world. Skin and appearance. People in our world have different skin colors, which are quite different: black skin, red skin, white skin, two-tone, white and dark. There is a high difference. But the people of Uttarakuru subcontinent, the entire planet, has the same skin color, which is white and gray. In the royal commentary it is said that on the Uttarakuru continent even at night it was bright with light. Light from the surface of people on the planet. As for the face, the shape of the face, they all look the same. No different, especially the women on the planet. The face shape is a half moon. The men are square rectangular, which is different from the people of the Indian subcontinent, where each person's appearance is very different. Social life, there won't be much difference. But there will be some things that are very different from our star, such as birth of a child. Normally, people in our world, mothers, women who are 9 months pregnant, give birth. Before the child grows up, walks, talks, it must be done gradually. But on the Uttarakuru continent, mother, after giving birth, the child will grow up as if the child were 12 years old. The parents place the child at the three-way intersection. That is, the parents were not jealous of their children at all and left them alone. Passers-by put their index fingers in the child's mouth. Milk flowed from the index finger. The child was fed with milk from a stranger at the crossroads. Occupation. In the middle of the Uttarakuru continent there will be a very large tree called Kalpa tree. The leaves are silver and golden all over. Every Buddhist holy day, the 15th day of the waxing moon, whoever wants something goes and raises their hands and makes a wish, asking for supplies, asking for things and money. The tree will give you something. Everyone will get it. Therefore, there is no need for soldiers, police, doctors, because everyone gets something from this tree. There is no need to compete. Eating. People of the Indian subcontinent, this world of ours, eat rice. We have to go plant rice, harvest rice, and we have to find rice, such as chicken, pork, and vegetables. Until we can eat to be full, it's quite difficult. But the people of Uttarakuru subcontinent, there will be a type of fire stove called pasana. The method for using it is to take wheat grown on that planet, approximately 1 to 2 feet in diameter. Put the rice on the stove. The stove lit up automatically. When the rice is cooked, the fire goes out by itself. Eat 1 grain of rice and you will be full for 7 to 8 days. The continents in the universe are divided into 4 continents in each direction. 1 South Indian subcontinent. Located to the south of Mount Meru. Meru. There is an emerald element to the south of Mount Meru. The reflection of the emerald element gives the sky and oceans of the Indian subcontinent a greenish-blue hue. There are 500 satellite continents. Humans in the Indian subcontinent were 4 cubits tall and lived about 100 years, may have died before their age, uncertain. Humans living on this continent age depends on morality, not certainty. In the time of Lord Buddha named Vipassi, humans in the Indian subcontinent lived up to 80,000 years. In the time of the Buddha named Furiwata, humans in the Indian subcontinent reached a height of 80 cubits. But when morality deteriorates, the mind slows down, the food gets worse, the age decreases, the body becomes shorter. In the future, humans in the Indian subcontinent, they will only be 10 years old and will be so short that they have to eat eggplants. That era is called the Tamil era, and it was the most degenerate era of the Indian subcontinent. The flower of the Indian subcontinent is pink. For this reason it is called the Champu continent, because the flower of this continent is the pink flower. The Indian subcontinent is the only continent where all Buddhas lived. You must come to enlightenment on this continent only. In the commentary it is said that the Indian subcontinent is made up of 4 parts ocean, 3 parts land, and 3 parts Himapan forest, adding up to 10 parts. Mount Himawa Himalayan mountain is 500 yojana high, 3,000 yojana long and wide equivalent, decorated with 84,000 peaks. It is the location of the pink tree a tree of the continent named Naka, measuring 15 yojana around the trunk. The trunk was 50 yojana high and the branches, each branch were 50 yojana long, spreading out to measure 100 yojana all around and rising up to the same height. And what is the size of this pink tree? That size is the size of the Azuris Chitpatali tree. The Simplinja tree of the Garuda, the Kathambhakratham tree in Amarakhoyānādīva. The Kappa tree in Uttarakurudweep, the Sirarasuk tree in the Bubavidhādīva. The Parishataka tree in Tavadimsa is for that reason. The ancient master said, the trees of the worlds and continents are the Patala tree, the Simpli tree, the pink tree, the Parachata tree of the gods, the Kadamba tree, the Kappa tree, and the 7th tree, the Sirasa tree, as follows. 2 West Amonkoyānādīva. Located to the west of Mount Meru. Meru. It is a land area 7,000 yojanas wide and consists of islands and small rivers. There are 500 satellite continents. There is a crystal element to the west of Mount Meru. The reflection of the crystal element gives the sky and ocean of the Amonkoyan Continent a crystal hue. Humans living on this continent, it has a face shaped like a crescent moon. Have a circle face similar to the moon. A person with a face like the waning moon, a high nose, a pointed chin. Humans on the Amonkoyan Continent were 6 cubits tall and lived 500 years. They would not die before reaching their age. It's a fixed rule. The official flower of Amarakhoyānādīva is Katampha micrathum. 3 East Puppavithehaweep. Located to the east of Meru. Meru. The area is 7,000 yojanas wide and has 500 small continents as satellites. There is silver in the east of Mount Meru. The reflection of the silver element gave the sky and ocean of the Bupavidheha Continent a silver tint. Humans living on this continent, it has a face like a full moon. People with round faces like the moon. The upper face is curved and cut down like a bowl. Human beings at Bubavidhādīva were 9 cubits tall and lived 700 years. They would not die before reaching their age. It's a fixed rule. The flower of Puppavithehaweep is Sarisa Truic 4 North Uttarakuru Continent. Located on the north side of Meru, Meru has an area 8,000 yojana wide, a plain, with 500 small continents as its satellites. There is a gold element to the north of Mount Meru. The reflection of the gold element gives the skies and oceans of the Uttarakuru subcontinent a golden yellow hue. Humans living on this continent beautiful shape has a four-sided face, always maintains the 5 precepts, does not regard wealth, children, wife, or husband as his own. Humans on the Uttarakuru continent were 13 cubits tall and had a lifespan of 1,000 years, would not die before reaching age. It's a fixed rule. There are many kinds of trees. The official flower of Uttarakuru subcontinent is Kalapapruik. If you want something, then imagine that the Kalapapruik tree will get your wish fulfilled. Humans of the Uttarakuru subcontinent, when you die from this continent, everyone will be reborn in the Traibhumi, the heavenly realm. This is a fixed rule. In Pali language, Uttara means north. For this reason to call this continent Uttarakurudweep.